Hi Oliver, thank you for joining us. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and who you work for?
I work for Fisch Asset Management. We are a Zurich-based asset manager. Our specialty is convertible bond funds. We have 7.4 billion under management, and we are glad to be here because we're very much interested in technology, and it's great to be here.
And what are the biggest challenges for professionals in the IT space at the moment?
I think we face three major challenges. One is the fast-pacing environment. Probably at all times in history people have thought that times change fast, but it's obvious for us with storage scaling, with new applications, new products, and so on. The other problem is meeting business requirements. The reason why that is a challenge is because there are always business requirements being added. There are very seldomly some drop. And the major problem we always have is prioritization. It's a very general management thing that you need to solve for yourself, where you prioritize.
And how do you see the IT and operations landscape changing in the next 12 months?
Well, I can only speak for Fisch Asset Management. I think we will concentrate on three initiatives. One is we will intensify our quite special IT strategy where we have an open source IT strategy where we focus on open source tools, and also a strategy where we implement the core functionalities in our company ourselves. We build our own software. It's called Fisch Tank, and we have just now also decided to intensify this strategy. I think we need to work on scalability on all ends, servers and storage and communication and things like that. And then another big issue within the company is reporting. I think that's also more like a loop in any of these financial institutions. We really want to advance in reporting.
And you've presented today at TSAM. Can you explain a little bit more about what you presented on and the topics you were discussing?
I presented on our open source strategy, where I explained what open source software is. It is software that you can most likely download on the internet and use for your own purposes. It is free in that sense that you can use it any way you like. It's not necessarily free in the sense that you don't have to pay for it. Sometimes we have companies that we pay for open source software. The advantage is that we can then really do with it all that we want to. We don't buy a black box, we buy something that we can adapt to our needs. We use open source software across all system components. May it be server operating systems, file servers, web servers, or may it be programming environments or IT security tools or things like that. We really use it across all components. And our strategy is that we try open source first, and if that doesn't work for us, or if there's a product on the market that we can make much better use of, then we use that. We really feel that we have some big advantages by using this strategy. One is flexibility and know-how that we can acquire. The other advantage is cost. We can scale these tools up to any dimension that we want to without necessarily having to buy licenses. And in my talk, I really wanted to encourage people to adopt this try and can-do attitude that we have at Fisch Asset Management, because it's, from my point of view, very beneficial for our company.
And was there any interesting questions that came out of the discussion?
I was very pleased with the questions that were being asked, first of all because of the number of questions, and also because of the enthusiasm that I felt that came back from the audience. There were questions about isn't it hard to hire people with the know-how in this area of open source products, and I had to agree, yes, especially in Zurich, where we have big IT companies basing their development there. It's really nice in Zurich. We have a lake and everything. It's very difficult to find good hires. Another question was related to risk. isn't risk management worried about using open source tools where potentially you download software from the internet that you then use in your company, and you don't really, you can't check every line of code? And I said, no, it's normally not such a problem for us. And the reason is in the answer of another question that one gentleman asked, where he asked, how do you test your software? And I told them that we use open source tools, of course, for testing our software, and that there's an automated system where things only go live when they're run through this automated testing system.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. Is there any other talks or topics at TSAM Europe this year that you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm interested in all of the tracks, actually, and I can't see all of the talks that I want to. It's also interesting to see the vendors because it's something that we work with every day, and it's for me interesting to discuss any aspect of it. But I'm mostly interested in the client reporting track, because I feel that we can learn a lot from the talks that we have seen, because we are a much smaller company, and we can look a little bit into the future when we see what people in larger organizations are doing.
And what made you decide to attend TSAM? Why is it different to other conferences that you've been to?
Well, I've talked to other CIOs, and one CIO specifically mentioned TSAM as a very good conference to go to. Also for networking, because as a small company and as a CIO, I don't get to travel much, and so it's good to go to a conference where there are really a lot of people like me. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you.